of the Rugby League World Cup. We head into another huge weekend of matches across Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Heavyweights, England and Australia involved in matches tomorrow. An enticing double-header coming up on Sunday across two countries. Here we go. The Avignon experience is underway. France versus New Zealand. Two of the originals from the '54 World Cup. And Maria Hargreaves was the man with the first touch when they played in that first ever World Cup. It was France winning 22 points to 13. New Zealand got their revenge some 3 years later in '57. And this is Martelino. Ready to run. Missed the opening game against Samoa. It's a good side that can leave out Ben Martelino from their 17 as Foran took them to the left, and a spirited charge there from Pritchard. There's no lack of size in the French forwards to try and counter, and Maria Hargreaves was met front on by Andrew Bentley. Right there, 5 metres inside the French half, and Johnson is going to bomb high. Have a look at this kick coming down 15 metres out. The Kiwis went up early. Foran has fumbled. And that's something that has crept into the game, the early challenge for the ball. It's off-putting for the man trying to receive it on the defensive side, and I think that was a case in point there, Daryl.
Back off France.
Easy yards on offer coming out of their own end, the Kiwis. As the kick goes up, is that a falcon? For sure. Vakare took his eye off the ball. Not a breath of wind at the stadium. It is as calm as.
That's one word I didn't look up in the French dictionary. What's French for falcon? Le falcon. But no, it wasn't. It was off the shoulder. So France have their first possession, and there is Dupont with it. I like what I see of him. I think he can cause some damage. And what about that defence? The front rowers make a French baguette out of that one. The two front rowers, Maria Hargreaves and Martelino. Good counter though, followed up by Bentley to get as far as the 40-metre line. But we've got a game on our hands as Elimar, the captain. Ball has come loose, bounces up, and play on for Bosk. Finds a willing runner. And it's pretty good. It was slightly scrappy, but they've managed to get themselves inside the New Zealand half. Farge is the young man in the striped headgear at halfback. Needs to settle himself into the match. This is the big stage. Played there by Ragan, one of the more experienced players. Bosk goes just as high as Johnson. Great kick, put down by Locke. Play on from France. No, they're going to say penalty. Well, that could have been a chance for the French side very early. That was a mighty kick from Thomas Bosk.
I like that set of 6 from the French. You think they've got to chance their arm a little. There's a couple of offloads in it. And when it comes to the kick here, have a look from Bosk. Now, this ball hardly rotates on the way down, so you know it's going to float a little. And Kevin Locke wants to make a good play at the start of the game. If he comes up to try and take it in the air, knocks on.
Replay
Here he is.
suggested only offside, probably by about 7 metres. It's pretty clear cut. I mean, you see players time their runs perfectly.
Move!
He went off yesterday in chase of the kick. He went off that early. So now the Kiwis with Foran up on halfway and a little show of the ball to the outside. But defence there. Remy Casti, the man who was Roosters bound in 2014. He will get his farewell appearance at Perpignan on Monday week. Martelino charges forward. Bentley was there. Busy early, the lock forward for France. Playing alongside of his brother tonight. They weren't on deck for the match against the Kummels. So it's a moment for that family. Foran left side, nice work. And the defence was good. Winger came in. Cyril Staku came in to make a good tackle on Locke. This is Foran. Kicks across field, not all that high. Up they go. And they have a catcher though in Inu. Creston Inu, a clean take to score. The opening try of the match. It's a weapon. Inu scores for the Kiwis.
Brilliant kick from the half. Watch Kieran Foran. Doesn't kick to the corner. Kicks midfield towards the side of the post. And guess who? Somewhat of an unforgotten man in the team, Creston Inu. Question mark whether he might have made the squad if Sean Kenny Dow had been fit after the Roosters grand final. But he is excellent in the air. Loves playing on that right centre. We know he's got the drive and the energy in his legs to leap and the skills to take those balls up in the air. And when he got up, it was somewhat uncontested, believe it or not. Had a clean take at it.
Sorry, mate.
And the Avignon crowd go a little quiet. They were encouraged by the start
No worries. Get it.
But then one kick, one attacking kick. And Krishnan Inu's catch was deadly. And a 4-0 scoreline. Inu, the man that when he made his test debut back in 2007, it was after just one match in the National Rugby League. Went from one game of first grade at Parramatta to a test match for New Zealand. And now Johnson, when you talk about big games early in your career, his 16th game was a grand final in the NRL back in 2011. Taking a lot of time with his kick. My co-commentator Daryl Halligan is his goal-kicking mentor at the Warriors during the National Rugby League season. And Johnson, first kick successful, a 6-0 lead.
So here's a kick from Foran once again, and watch the timing of Inu up and grabbing it clean. These balls are a little bit springier than the ones in the NRL. I had the good luck to actually have a knock around with them earlier in the week, and they come off the foot a little bit quicker. So you've got to be a little bit slower in your action. The guys are just finding their way with them.
Well, there's a centre spot up for grabs, you've got to believe, in this New Zealand side, as Waria Hargreaves runs it back, and he's all wound up. He is quite the leader these days. Sydney Roosters, premiership-winning front rower. And energetic defence from France, but there's no shortage of runners coming. Bentley made the tackle there. That was the lock forward, Andrew Bentley. New Zealand back as far as the 40-metre line. That time with Martelino, and Johnson's going to kick from 5 metres inside his own half. He's turned the winger, Frederic Vakari, around, and no play at it from Escaré. So France will have a scrum feed 10 metres out from their own line. But they've got their game faces on New Zealand. Nothing too fancy. Getting over the advantage line, looking to lay a platform here.
Yeah, here's the final play with Johnson. Works it perfectly. Spacing behind the fullback and winger and finds a touch. But in that set of 6, I like the fact there's a couple of players in New Zealand who didn't get a touch in the first 2 sets. It was Alex Glenn who came over and had a nice little run on the left-hand side. He's playing right edge this evening.
Beautiful conditions for the match as well, as the ground announcer gets the crowd wound up. But the locals talk about the wind, Le Vent, or as it's known here in Avignon, Le Mistral. Well, no sign of Le Mistral today. It's absolutely not today or tonight. It's been mild conditions, and what a great setting.
I think the only thing that can really get this French team, or the crowd, into the game, let alone the announcer, they get on the front foot here, and 18,000 here will be like 40,000.
They're with the ball 31 metres away from their own line, and working a short side play there. And it is Escaré, the young fullback. He's got some dancing feet, this kid. He's gone back 15 metres and then put down out wide. That would have been play on. Regan kicked it forward. But Escaré, it was a darting run across field, but he was prepared to go backwards to go forwards, if you know what I mean.
Keep an eye on him, Escaré. He's a bit like a Matty Bowen or even a young Kevin Locke.
There's a touch of Preston Campbell about the run, former Player of the Year out in the Australian competition. Waria Hargreaves to play it. 25 metres away from the French line. New Zealand up by 6. Pritchard brings Locke into the play. He had Nightingale on his outside. Now Locke is headed back in field a bit like Escaré. And Martelino is with the ball. Wrapped up by Larouillère. 10 away from the line. Kiwis, another opportunity. And it is with Foran, held it up beautifully for Johnson, then for Locke, unmarked winger on the outside, coming back in field. Tuivasa Sheck, we know he's got a beautiful step.
Good D from the French.
Fage got across there. Now back 15 metres out, Johnson's kick. He's looking for Nightingale, doesn't get there. It came down there for Luke. He's kept it alive, you won't stop Pritchard.
Time off.
Luke got it back for Frank Pritchard, but we're off to the video referee.
Just to check whether it's come off a New Zealand hand.
Just to check this one. The first point of contact when that ball came down. But Frankie Pritchard believes he has scored here. Video referee for this one is Shane Hone.
So possibly checking if they're onside. Looks good from there, from that picture. Nightingale goes to the air. And it's Starku who gets it and propels the ball forward, falls into the hands of Isaac Luke. No one in front of Pritchard. Pretty much pinpoint. First kick from Foran, second from there. Doesn't seem to be a problem there. Frank Pritchard, no problem. So the second kick also from Sean Johnson. Picture perfect.
You're hearing the voice now of Shane Hayne come through. Still he wants to check the ball coming down, but he wants to see the catch of the football. I don't think there was a little communication problem between video referee and director's truck.
Starku climbs up above everyone. Have a look at this. Nightingale goes early. Starku comes up over and above.
Well, Shane Hayne believes that Nightingale's arm comes into contact with the ball into the French player.
Okay, yeah, it's on the last, so it's going to be hand over, yeah.
I'm not as convinced as Shane Hayne, but he's going the way of the French here. He's going to rule no try. You at home can hear video referee deliberations. He's come up with a no-try decision. That makes Shane very popular.
Even if he's gone up and knocked it, he's knocked it back into the hands of Starku. But anyway, play on.
Well, that pleases the locals no end. Larouayer will get us back underway. The changeover 10 metres out from the line. Pritchard thought he had a test try, not to be. 6-0 scoreline, 9 minutes gone. Crowd is in a festive mode here, but they would love to see something out of the box from the home team. Wanted to try and make things lively, as England did to ignite the crowd in the World Cup opener in Cardiff when they led 10-0 as Waria Hargreaves came racing up. Not much in it.
10 as well, boys. High tackle when you've got to hold the 10.
Teammates next year, Castry and Hargreaves. Getting well acquainted.
And Bentham straight onto it. So France will get an opportunity to go inside the New Zealand half. No Sonny Bill Williams in the 17-man squad. He's been doing a lot of interviews, though, here at the ground. And fans have come across from Toulon, where he played his rugby, just to see him in the flesh tonight. Again, good defence. It came from Madaleno on Larouayer. And there is punishing stuff again from Waria Hargreaves, but not preventing the offload. And Kane Bentley took off for 10 metres. France 30 metres out. New Zealand trying to play a physical game. Not necessarily 100% effective. Now Elimar, the captain, is only 20 metres from the line. France building here, looking promising. Bosk offloads there to Casti. Casti does the same for Bentley. Fage lost it, got it back. And that is tackle 4, 23 metres from the from the New Zealand line. France still with a good chance. And a little kick through. It's that back. They go with Chuvasashek. He gets away from one and gets to ground.
Oh, great set of 6. And now penalty for the Kiwis.
Pulling back to the ground.
Pulling them back to the ground. You heard it here. But it was the captain, putting the little kick in, and did it well too.
Well,
bounced just up before the line.
I had to check my eyes. I couldn't believe it that it was the front rower putting in the kick. I didn't want to say his name. I thought that surely can't be, but Olivier Elimar showing.
We normally cut the leg off of the big fellas that put the kick through, but Elimar taken over from his halves there. Perfect.
29th test for his country tonight. Seeing the New Zealand coaches box, Stephen Kearney and Ivan Cleary there.
Move!
New Zealand in possession, 29 metres away from their own line. 2 first-up winners from opening round matches of the Rugby League World Cup. Going head-to-head here. Massive underdog, the French, but they're taking the contest to the Kiwis early. This is Nightingale. And again getting 3 in the tackle. Casti was the man around the legs. Elimar over the top. Mannering. That try-double against the Samoans. He's thrown down into the Avignon turf. Luke takes off nicely. got it away to Madalino, who is certainly sending out a message loud and clear to Coach Kearney here in the opening of this match. Now Johnson's kick. Out towards the left wing. Again, the flying player through is Tuivasa-Sheck. But Paul has travelled forward. It's a tough job, isn't it, being a man at the back at the end of a Johnson kick, and Frederick Vakari knew all about it right there.
He did well too, Vakari. Had no one shepherding the ball, no one taxing anyone off. Tuivasa-Sheck had a pretty clean go and had the running, but Vakari...
Time off. Who is it, mate? Simon. Yeah, you're going to have to fix the blood up.
All right, we just got a little problem. Simon Mannering, a bit bloodied at the moment.
He got absolutely snapped here on the left side of the field, Simon Mannering, courtesy of 3 French defenders, and that's the result.
It's all right, no, tight calls, mate. The tight calls. 2 guys jumping for the ball. Looks like it came off black hand.
Referee Bentham being cross-examined by the Kiwi players, taking an opportunity. Mannering in his second match as captain tonight was due to lead the side back in the Anzac Test against Australia in Canberra earlier this year. Here's how the injury happened, and probably the left arm, wasn't it? He was cartwheeled down. You take your pick. Mannering's not blowing up about it.
1, move!
It's footy.
Hold.
And it's Test match footy tonight from Avignon here in the southeast of France.
2, move!
Great junior system they have here.
Hold. Go, that's okay, 2.
It's been said to be the best in France. The junior program they have, something to
3,
be proud of.
Move!
Voss, if I can just say at this part of the game, the white armbands the Kiwis are wearing today in respect of the late Ron Ackland. So the white armbands there.
4,
France with the ball 15 metres inside their own half. The 2 Bentleys have been good. Kane, the man working dummy half, and the lock forward, Andrew Bentley. That was from inside the 40. The touch judge says over the sideline on the full. Well, the video ref may have a little look and maybe say otherwise. Did it catch a bit of the line?
Poor old Kane Bentley. I thought this had gone just in. Whoa, you could argue that the point of the ball touched the grass first, Fossey. Of course you could.
No, the man in pink's right. The man in pink is 100% right. Mr. Atkins on this broadcast side touchline. You can't bag referees all over the world, Daryl.
I'm telling you, the point of the ball touched the grass first before the rest of it rolled onto the line. That's what we've got slow-mo for.
6-0 scoreline, 14 minutes gone, and it means that New Zealand will get a chance to start a set inside the French half. They moved all their players to the open side, and Nightingale is the man with the ball, and again, solid defence as the Kiwis make their first change of the night, and Big Sam Cassiano comes on.
2,
Jared Maria-Hargreaves to the bench. Kiwis 30 metres away from the line. Luke goes short. No waste of time to get Cassiano into the play.
Hold 10.
French fans saying, Sacre bleu, what about the size of this bloke? And now the Kiwis 10 metres away.
Goal line. Get on the line.
They have 1 try on the board and 1 disallowed. Christian Inu is the man with a 4-pointer. Now Mannering very flat there to Cassiano. No head of steam up. Held by Bentley. 5 from the line. Luke is going to try a kick. Looked hard off the boot. Didn't see that one coming from Isaac Luke, and France hang on.
They were set up both sides, and Simon Mannering put a short ball on for Big Cassiano, and they wanted to go wide out the back. And then Isaac Luke comes up with a kick from dummy half, and just too much weight on it. Disappointing set.
Move!
Bentley takes the first one for France. Competing well. And can't ask for too much more than that. Regan then tackled just outside the 30. A lot of experience in terms of international football in this forward pack. And Trent Robinson, the former Catalans coach, said that that is where they will base their game, and they're just going to try and chip away. Remy Casti almost back to halfway.
Lovely work from the hooker, Kane Bentley.
And now Farjul wants it out wide off the chest is the call. So play on for Frederick Vakari to come back to centre field. And Frederick gets the headlock applied by Ben Madalino. All's fair in love and war. And the France team from 45 metres out. Boy, he can launch one. Thomas Bosk. It'll come down having bounced off a satellite. Locks put it down. Farge has got it. Farge for the line. And Farge is just half a metre away. France with a full set of 6. Now the crowd is lively. Referee Bentham finds a penalty. I think the French fans want a sin bidding.
Twice they've come down here, and twice they've gone to the air with the goods.
Quick tap with
Oh!
Bentley! He's eaten up by Dogzilla. Sam Cassiano has squashed him. France with the ball, and Bosk, he got the first try against Papua New Guinea. He put it there on a plate there for Laruayer. Listen to this crowd in Avignon. They are really making a racket. Bosk across field, it just breaks down a little as Casti has offloaded loose. Escade goes back for it, tries to step Johnson. And they lose 20 metres on the play. Johnson and Inu make the tackle. France, though, still in possession. Dupont is able to get them back into the 20. 15 away from the line. A couple of tackles up their sleeve. Fage slows it up there. Elimar goes for a run, cut offload. Cassiano over the top. Last tackle for France. Where's the kick going to come from? Another penalty to France. On the last tackle.
Well, discipline was something Stephen Kearney spoke to his team about before they started this match.
Tap again. Let's go again, baby. Bentley is tackled 3 metres away from the line. Cassiano and Luke there. The French fans willing their team to score. And Escare, is picked up and dumped into the ground. That's an energetic tackle by Bryson Goodwin. Then gives him a little nudge as well. Another run for Casti. 2 front rowers trying to lead the way for France. Casti and Elimar. Bentley, left side. Bosk, good ball. Fage, changing the angle was Regan. And able to make the tackle, Alex Glenn and Johnson. France just not quite crisp enough at the moment. Fage, short side. Dupont is close to the line. He had the crowd hopping on his back in the run. Inu, hang on. Last tackle again for France. Back-to-back sets. Fage to Bosk. Doesn't go as high this time. He's looking for the winger. Nightingale goes up. It's been knocked forward there by Stuckle. The crowd has gone up, but knock on clearly the call. And it will be a changeover. Cyril Stuckle came up with a knock-on. And Coach Agar knows it.
This is the last play. Look at Starku goes up, just gets there a little bit early and only can get the one hand to it, propelled forward. Great tackle by Kristen Inu on the right, which stopped an almost certain French try.
Doesn't he run hard, Vincent Dupont, that left centre. He is a player to watch.
Went straight past Cassiano.
He's got some game. Now Nightingale. So just a 6-0 scoreline through 19 minutes. It was an entirely different story in the Kiwis' opening match against Samoa. They'd posted 3 tries by this point. And now Luke, New Zealand just outside the 30. Physical in the centre as Cassiano was met front on by Regan. And Big Elimar there as well. Loving what the captain's doing. Here's another penalty. This time to New Zealand. And you just got to hope that France stay in touch here, having had a chance to score and not coming up with points. Now they're going to find themselves defending deep inside their own half.
Well, they reckon the real impact that will come off the bench will be big Jamal Fakir. He can add some real punch to this team, and I'm glad I got that out of the way, Vossi, so I'll let you take over now.
He's one of the veterans, 31 years of age. Jamil Fakir, he's on the bench right now. He's ready to come on. In fact, he's up onto the sideline, along with Gregory Muniz. A lot of experience there on their bench. Now with Greg Eastwood. Plays his first match at the Cup tonight. He's a member of the 08 side, came off the bench in the final. Foreign. See, this is a little better, a little more crisp for the Kiwis' work compared to France. Lots better than the tackle. Jean-Philippe Bayo. To Centerfield they come with Pritchard. Does a little head wobble and a step. Big Frankie is dragged to ground by Sebastian Regan. Just a metre from the line. Luke fires it back for Foreign. Johnson has lost the ball. Fage comes up with it for France. And Fage is away. He stopped, he started. Now the whistle is blown again. Boska's downfield. Half the crowd know what's going on, half the crowd don't. The man in pink, he has the final say.
Well, he didn't really know what was going on there for a minute. He played on, then went back, then played on again, then finally blew the whistle. Let's have a look at it. They go out the back, and Johnson comes up. Nice play from Dupont, who was caught in field.
Well, I can't.
He had
work
to
it
have ruled
out.
that it was passed into the French player, who was then knocked the ball down and knocked it forward.
I don't think it was, and it certainly wasn't the call of referee Bentham, because you saw on that replay he's looking off to his left, looking for some help from his sideline official. But you know, Johnson
on this goal line,
made
boys,
the
when we're
first
back,
knock
France.
on.
Goal line.
Johnson's, Johnson's passed it into the
You think
arms.
so? Okay.
For sure.
All right, 2 versus Sheck, so 4 and big chance. And Goodwin's got it away to Nightingale. Nightingale for the corner, great tackle. The French have come up with a try saver in the corner. Cyril Staku was over that side, defending his wing. And Jean-Philippe Bale is there as well.
Great work from
Gutsy stuff
Staku.
from France.
He had to put his body on the line. One-on-one takes Nightingale into touch. And that's a risk from the scrum play. How much room do you give to your opponent? Staku got it perfect. I thought Nightingale was there, and so did he.
Cyril Staku, 15 test matches for his country, and got assistance from Jean-Philippe Bale.
Teams, lads, let's give space on the
And
ruck.
they prevent another
He's got
try.
space to play the ball at the ruck.
This is quite the World Cup. If you know
Time
you
off,
had your
the
doubts
ball.
about this tournament, you've got to be impressed with what you've seen in this first week, and not just from the big teams. I'm talking about the efforts of Scotland and the efforts of the USA and Italy and now France tonight,
Got a whistle in there.
rallying against the team, as I said, last Sunday night in Warrington.
First,
They've all got big scrapbooks, this New Zealand side.
Hold. Goal, good.
And France are taking it to them. And it's good to see.
Backwards.
Now inside their own 10. I don't know whether that's good to see for their coach, Richard Agar. He'll go into cardiac arrest with that sort of play.
Stay square.
Find the balance. They had
Length.
something to mix it up a little bit out of the yardage set.
3 offloads inside your own 10. Don't often see that.
Move.
So France with the ball 15 metres away from their own line. Trailing by 6 points to 0. The first try of the night came in the 4th minute
Wait,
to
boys.
Krisden Inu off a
Goal.
kick. And that's another thing that's got to be said. The try that was scored and the try that was disallowed were both off
Move.
kicks. It's not a matter
Goal.
of breaking the French defensive line, and there's a knock on by Jamal Fakir.
Before they play the ball. Played the ball forward with the foot.
So
First touch
not
of
a
the
good
ball
moment for Jamal.
for the big fella.
I thought they were away from him.
Played a couple of internationals in his time for Morocco, the nation of his
They
birth.
were away from him.
Jamal Fakir.
There's some great stories. Let's have a look at it here. Straight into the tackle, leads with the elbow, Mannering over top. Plenty of heavyweights there, Pritchard and Cassiano to boot.
Kieran.
I like you, Vossi. When round 1 finished of this Rugby World Cup, after every team had a game, it was something else. And this is the start of round 2. And it's lifting a level.
Nightingale with it for New Zealand,
First
35 metres away from the
move.
line. St George
Hold,
Illawarra
France,
winger
hold.
back in the NRL. Jason Nightingale, test debut in 08. This is Eastwood with the ball.
Surrender.
Plenty of size
Stand.
about Greg as well.
Hold.
Has played footy over here with the Leeds
Hands on,
Rhinos in
straight
the
out.
Super League. Now with Cassiano, he's offloaded. Bit of luck with the pass. He found Luke. He sort of just did a,
Third.
Alley-oop.
Move.
well, you'd call it a Harbour
Back
Bridge
up.
pass in Sydney.
Eight, goal 3.
And now Pritchard gets the dummy half. Don't often see him there. Foreign offloads. This is the captain, Mannering. He's looking to do the same, but
Move.
unable
Goal
to
line.
do so. Getting in nice and low in the tackle
Hold. Morgan.
was Bosk. As the ball comes up for Johnson. Johnson's got it to Inu. Nice right foot step. Planted that right
5.
foot.
Morgan.
Bounced
goal
back
line.
into the
Wait
tackle
there.
of Sebastian
Hold the
Aragon.
line. Goal.
5 metres away from the line. New Zealand up by 6. 25 minutes gone. Another kick across field. There. What a take. What a take there by Bryson Goodwin. Two-handed catch as Krisden Inu did earlier. The kick is deadly tonight from New Zealand. It is 2 tries up and 10-0.
Well, Krisden Inu gets the first one in similar circumstances. Bryson Goodwin the second. Again, not kicking right to the corner to expose Staku. And Bale, a little bit of indecision between the centre and the winger, allows Bryson Goodwin to go straight through. No real attempt from the French, again, to contest that football.
Goodwin had a tough night in that first game, didn't he? Lined up against Joseph Lalua in the Samoan side, and he gets another chance to set the record straight tonight. He'd like that.
Certainly would. You saw it in his aggression down the far end of the football field. He come up and made a tackle and had a little bit of a push and shove just to let everyone know he's on his game tonight. And then Bryson Goodwin shows us his aerial skills to put himself on the scoreboard. But I guess that's the area to kick to. Maybe it's not the area for the winger to come up with it in terms of Starku, and then also Bale, put them in some sort of indecision. Placed perfectly by this man, Sean Johnson.
Last time these sides played in France was 2009. Big victory to New Zealand. And that may be the case. Over 80 minutes, this scoreline could blow out, but you've got to like what you're seeing from the French early on. 26 minutes gone. They find themselves 2 converted tries down at 12-0. Avignon is the venue. We'll have another game in France in Perpignan on Monday week when the Samoans take on France. And a lovely moment there for Bryson Goodwin. Really did resurrect his rugby league career this season with South Sydney in the NRL. So restart of play at 12-0. The 2 centres, the try scorers, Inu and Goodwin, and Johnson 2 from 2. And Eastwood, back he comes as far as the 20-metre line. Kiwis, defending champions at the World Cup. Big run, Cassiano.
Move! Wait, go.
Fans up in Warrington, they loved watching Mossy Massoy. The French are aghast at the moment by the efforts of Cassiano here.
Hold!
40-metre line you can see, and Luke takes it back for Johnson, and a chance for the 40-20. This one floats downfield. Johnson, one bounce, but it bounced back in. Bit of luck there for Frederic Vacari at the back. And then he's no luck at the tackle. He's punished.
They kicked early to get downtown here, realising France having a little bit of trouble. Oh, getting out of their own end. Shoulders on.
Cyril Staku, winger in the call, and they've nailed him as well. So now New Zealand get nice and physical. Mannering, Eastwood, 4 and all in that tackle. 3 down, and they're only just outside their 20. This is Mika Simon.
4, move!
Coach Agar going to all of his bench players. Benjamin Garcia, rather, on the bench is an interesting player. Had a bit of time with the Broncos under-20s in Australia. He's the man who just played the ball. Well, that's a terrible kick. I don't know what happened there with Gregory Muniz. Haven't seen too many grubbers from your own 40.
Isaac Luke all over top of him. Didn't get himself back far enough from the play the ball.
2.
So New Zealand with it. 35 metres away from the France line. Luke, on it comes for Tuivasa-Sheck. They will know that this kid has a deadly step. Cassiano's gone off to the bench. You'll see Frank Paul Nuasala in just a moment. Foreign passes there to Pritchard. Flat ball there to Mannering. That's been knocked down. Johnson's onto it. Johnson, that overhead ball. Inu's got it. Inu coming back infield. Tries to fend away from Fage.
4.
But Dupont and Fage make the tackle. They are 15 from the French line, looking for a 3rd try. That looked forward to Luke. It was forward. Not good from New Zealand. Big Sam takes a breather.
So no real structure to that last couple of plays for the Kiwis. Everyone seemed to have a show and a go in them and wanted to move across field instead of someone heading north-south. Isaac Luke standing in front of Eastwood.
What a great sight this is around the ground as we see the shots coming through from the French bench. But
heads in, back roll.
This is just a tremendous moment for League down in the south of France as they try to get the game back to its glory days. And nights like this really help because you've got to remember, it's the southwest of France where Catalan Dragons are based. There's a big tackle almost.
Isaac Luke.
Past the horizontal, the drive by Isaac Luke. But if they ever have a second Super League side out of France, it's erecting that it's going to be from Toulouse. And then the grand plan down the track is to have a team from northern Italy. As that is put down by Fakir. He's not having a good time of it, Jamal.
20 in, guys. On 3.
I think it was actually Simon who had run the football there. Not quite the size of Fakir.
Right.
He's about twice the size. Rather huge lunk of a lad. So mistakes creeping into the French game, offering the Kiwis plenty of field position.
Don't get caught down there.
And now the execution of the Kiwis will come.
Well, we saw
in question.
Olivier Elimar, their captain, on the bench. Wonderful opening, really, from the two front rowers, but the captain was
Stay
very
in there,
good.
wait for the call
Eliman and
first.
Casti
Heads in.
taking it to the New Zealand forwards.
Out.
So Kiwis win the scrum, 30 away from the French line. 30 and a half minutes gone. A 12-0 scoreline. Kiwis over France.
Well done, well done.
France have had limited opportunities at the New Zealand end of the field, but did have one red-hot go.
Two. Move.
Came up short of the line.
Wait for it, goal. Two.
It's a need to hang on in this set. Johnson there for Eastwood. He's almost away.
Move.
They've got two beasts in their side.
Morgan,
Eastwood
Morgan,
and
Morgan,
Manu
get off.
Vaduvai, who's not there tonight. Now Foreign.
Move,
Rolled to
stand
ground by
back.
Bosk.
Hold. Goal for, yeah, it's all right.
This is Goodwin. Pritchard again finds himself in a ball-playing role. Frankie Pritchard
5.
doesn't
Move.
offload. Last
boys,
tackle for
wait,
New
score.
Zealand.
5.
Foreign left side, Johnson right, Johnson with it. Johnson's kick, there's space there for Tuivasa-Sheck. Knocked back by New Zealand, play on for Dupont. And
Knock on,
then
hand over.
he will say knock on New Zealand, so France have hung on. Well done.
Yeah.
This time Johnson goes deep to the corner, tries to put the ball over the head. Tuivasa-Sheck realises he can't catch and put that down.
Ready?
We've seen
On
some
you.
pretty good
Go, don't dummy it. Play
aero
on.
acrobatic displays
No, don't
this
hit
year
it,
in the
don't hit
NRL, but he bats it back
First.
and then knocked on by
Move.
Johnson.
Hold. Go. Yeah, dummy the play.
Showing some defensive steel, this French side.
Absolutely.
2.
At
Move.
least I think I saw a
Hold.
stat where they're saying there's as
Hold.
many
Go, can't make that out.
registered
Again.
players in France now as there is in New Zealand. So interest in the game
3.
is good.
Move. Wait.
And they are 25 minutes inside their own half. Ball has come loose.
Handed on the ruck. Penalty.
And there you go.
Knocked it out.
Referee Bentham got some instruction from the sideline. France get the penalty. Crowd was a little unaware because he's made the ruling without actually blowing the whistle. Is that right? He didn't blow the whistle. He's just explained it, and then
Can't tell what you're saying.
the crowd just sat silent. Thought, what's going on there?
Well, they all knew.
Bosk has got it on. That's my man, Jamil Fakir. And Fakir is tackled 29 metres away from the New Zealand line.
Hold.
They have a chance. It's been a while since they've been down this end. Muniz to Bosk. He takes it up to the line, but put down by Laduwayer. And away goes Locke. Nightingale wrapped up in the tackle of Laduwayer.
Go.
But Bosk does take it right up to the line, doesn't he? The French 5'8".
First. Move.
Now Goodwin outside the 30. We get to the
17's
34th
not in.
minute. And still only 2 tries on the board. Now for Luke. Away goes Luke. Can't find Locke. Fred should come up with the ball. Bentham says, well, he said backwards. That's incredible. And away goes Tuivasa-Sheck. They may come back to the video referee. Well,
Time off.
you clearly heard referee Bentham say knock back, but
Loose ball in the
I've
middle,
got a
please.
very strong suspicion this try will be disallowed, but watch Tuivasa-Sheck, once he got a little opening to go through, he could slip under the gap under the door. He's that quick and that elusive. Good run to start with by Luke.
Isaac Luke busts right through, goes straight through Starku. And then the pass, well, it really was a shocker. Did Kevin Locke get a hand to it, trying to push up on the right-hand side? Looked like he did in the first instance. And then when Tuivasa-Sheck put the step on Farge, he only had Kiwis in front of him. Let's have a look here. Johnson goes back. That's certainly backwards there. But prior to that, with the hand of Kevin Locke going down,
We can only just hear, we're not quite sure how clearly you are hearing Shane Hayne at home, video referee. No touch to call. There you go. You get the call straight away at home. Shane Hayne's decided that it's the second touch is knocked on, not the first. So this confirmed to the crowd. They celebrate again. And France hang on again. 12-0 scoreline. 33 and a half gone. Eastwood back on the bench for New Zealand.
I won't harper on the point, but I thought the only way that could be a knock-on is Kevin Locke's hand first. However, we are in France. Have a smile and play on.
Let's form the scrum, boys.
New Zealand not too happy with that decision. Sean Johnson having a good chat with referee Bentham.
One more in there.
Once it's gone upstairs, there's absolutely nothing referee Bentham can do. Shane Hayne making the call.
Heads in. Let's pack quicker. Okay.
Yeah, I love the scrum tuition. Vincent Dupont with it. 5 inside his own half. Attack. He gets more of the football in the second half.
Good.
He does look a damaging player.
2.
And Samoa did have some success out in the centres in that match last Sunday.
Goal 2.
Now Muniz. And to centre field, but slowed down there. The run of
3.
Garcia.
Move.
Played a couple of games after coming across from the Broncos
Goal
with the
3.
Catalans club late in the season. And then Fakir is met front
4.
on by the New Zealand defence. 40 metres away from the Kiwis line. A try before half-time.
Move!
Well, they don't eat pies at half-time. What do they have here? Baguettes? What do they eat? It'll make the baguettes go down better.
Baguette that orange.
Maybe a crepe and a bit of an anticlimax at the end of the set. They don't get a kick in. They don't get anything in. And a changeover. New Zealand ball inside their 30.
That's a poor mistake when you consider the boot of Bosch. And the first 2 times they've gone to the air and Kevin Locke has put both down. Oh, they would have loved to have done that for a 3rd time.
Nightingale, nice run.
2. Move!
Half lost the shorts on the way through. He's 3 metres inside the New Zealand half. I'm still getting over the pork roll up in Warrington from last Sunday.
10 metres.
Machita Paquette runs a close second here in Avignon. Very tasty. Waria Hargreaves is offloaded. Luke does well. Pritchard gets it on the bounce. He's been busy in the first half, and it's been a lot of this sort of play. It's been the world's biggest 5'8" tonight. Frank Pritchard.
And then that pass is just not required. He tries a Hail Mary out the back after spinning in the tackle, and it was going to no one, and it deserved to be picked up by France. Poor play.
So inside the final 5 minutes of the first half, and France have more possession, and Dupont again. Hard to stop. Waria Hargreaves, though, made the tackle right on halfway, and some earnest charges now. Ragan took it inside the New Zealand half.
Goal, that's it, well done, 4.
There's not a whole lot of daring about the French play, but they're just trying to chip away at this New Zealand defence. Mika Simon inside the 40.
Go, 5.
Tackle made by Elijah Taylor. Last tackle. Bosk has gone high again. He's launched another one. Nightingale has got it for New Zealand. Good take. These are huge kicks from Thomas Bosk.
Do you think Kevin Locke was nervous there when that one went up?
Well, I've come here, prepared to say Johnson kicks the ball higher than any man in rugby league. But Thomas Bosk is giving him a run for his money.
3.
Locke out of dummy half. Was he held? Yes, he was. You heard the call. The French have enticed the Kiwis into a game of rugby league which suits them. Couple of offloads, couple of scrags, not quick play the balls from the Kiwis, and therefore they're away from their structure.
Now Luke on to Waria Hargreaves. They try and go up the centre this set. Luke starting to punch some holes in the French defence. And as offloaded there nicely, Locke feeds it along. This time Pritchard lets it go. Now with Goodwin, straightens up, offloads beautifully to Foran, and Foran is tackled. 10 from the French line. Last tackle, Pritchard, good play. Juggled by Nightingale. Nightingale has lost it. And they're going to rule
first, boys.
Oh, they're going to rule knock on against France first. New Zealand will get a scrum feed here. 10 away.
No advantage.
3 minutes to go first half.
There's some learning here, and that's the spaces on the outside. They go to the outside in the last play of the ball. Nightingale only just grasps it. No way they're going to get a kick in. Tries to squeeze a pass in between Escargay and another French player. So therefore they get the ball back. But all the work they've been doing in the middle of the park, the Kiwis, while it's been good, the space is on the outside.
All players on the open side here. There's a massive hole on the blind side if they want to do something sneaky and spin the scrum. They don't. Nightingale to Johnson. Johnson finds Mannering. Almost exploding through the defence there. Fage was able to hang on with Muniz. Now the ball is with Waria Hargreaves. Good tackle down low, Mika Simon. French crowd needing to lift their team here as the ball hit and spin. Try it is. Frank Paul Nuasala scores for New Zealand. Their 3rd try Their first where they've actually run it across the try line tonight. Frank Paul Nu'uausala.
Just good field position. Players in action. They set it up right in the middle of the post. Foran organising his troops out the back. And then Frank Paul with a nice short little run back towards the post. Nice and simple. Good work from Isaac Luke. A little bit of a no-look pass. Flat at best. The simple things work well.
Yeah, Frank Paul Nu'uausala in the NRL Grand Final in Australia, Sydney Roosters and Manly. Actually only had 16 minutes of game time, Frank Paul, in the big one. But that's the way the game can be these days. Daniel Mortimer, another replacement that night. He only had much the same. Cleary and Kearney getting ready to give their halftime speech to the New Zealand players. I don't think overly happy with the performance, but again, you know, I think just like their first game in Warrington, where Samoa came back at them, you've got to give credit to the opposition. France have come here with a plan to compete, passion, desperation, and they've stayed committed right through this first half.
Oh, if you can come here and put the opposition off their game, which France have done for the last 15 minutes, then that's fantastic. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. There's Shaun Johnson, probably his easiest attempt of the night, just.
Good morning to our viewers watching on Sky Sport in New Zealand, watching the Kiwi team. Host broadcaster Premier Sports across the United Kingdom, and viewers in Australia, early morning there on 7 mate. And Frank Paul Nu'uausala coming up with a try. We're coming to you from Avignon, in the southeast of France. It is the city of popes, as it was known back in the 1300s and the 1400s. The building of the palace in Avignon. It is quite an unbelievable structure. It just blows you away. It's one of those wow moments when you see it for the first time. Waria Hargreaves comes back. And the story goes, it was just the summer beach house for the Pope. I mean, it was just his home away from home. He's built something that's the size of Ayers Rock in Australia. So penalty goes the way of New Zealand. They will have a chance for one more play in the first half. I think we've had the halftime siren there. So yes, it has sounded. So one last play for the Kiwis. Let's see if they've got something in the box of tricks. Maybe a kick. Goodwin, I think, has had the signal out at left centre. And Nightingale, I think something's going to come far and long here. Johnson, here it goes. The kick, in fact, he goes down the centre. Foreigners charging through. Escalade doesn't come up with the ball. It's loose there for the Kiwis. It's batted along the ground. Play on, no. France come up with it with Dupont. And that ends an entertaining first half here in Avignon. Oh, hang on, is he going to say offside? Is he? What's he saying, referee Bentham?
No, mate, because
the halftime siren has sounded. There you go. He explains it to Shaun Johnson. So the first half is completed. And 3 tries scored in that first half, all converted by Shaun Johnson. Inu in the 4th minute, Goodwin the 25th, and Nu'uausala coming up with a try 4 minutes out from half-time. 18 points to 0. New Zealand over France. Natalie Quirk is on the sideline.
Well, Kieran, the first 2 tries coming from a kick, they're proving hard in defence, aren't they, the French?
Yeah, they certainly are. We expected it. We knew that they were going to be tight around the middle and really tough to crack. So, you know, first two tries off kick, but look, we'll take whatever we can at this stage.
A couple of decisions against you as well. What did you make of those? I know Johnson was having a quick word with the ref.
Yeah, look, that's exactly what we spoke about out in the middle. We know we're not going to get the 50-50 calls here. We just got to put up with it, and we just got to make sure that we, you know, play our style of footy and make sure we get the win.
Thanks, Kieran.
Thank you.
Natalie Quirk with Kieran Foran, New Zealand 5-8 at 18 points to 0. Cheergirls getting ready to perform here in Avignon. So first half completed in this Group B match. Start of the second round of the Rugby League World Cup. New Zealand 18, France 0.
Betway, you can now bet in play on a massive range of sports, including the Rugby League World Cup. Via your Mac, PC, mobile and tablet. And with a free bet of up to £50 to get you started, wherever you are, you've never been so close to the action. Betway.com.
LoveRugbyLeague.com is the ultimate home on the web for rugby league news, stats and live scores. Join in the debate on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Show off your knowledge and win prizes in our fantasy league and tipping competitions. Keep up with everything Rugby League on our mobile app, available on iPhone and Android. Love Rugby League is your rugby league home on the internet. Visit LoveRugbyLeague.com today.
Are you involved in your own rugby club? How would you like to increase the awareness of your club to both fans and members and earn your club some extra cash? Did you know you can get an iPhone app for your rugby club that provides an ideal platform to share news, results, player profiles, fixtures and reports as they happen? Better still, your club gets paid every time someone uses it. To find out more, go to sportsclubapp.com.
I want to be serious about a serious subject, hair loss. And if you're serious about hair loss, talk to the specialists at Advanced Hair Studios Clinic, who also take it seriously. Their trichologists can formulate a program for you, and their strand-by-strand procedure can replace your hair like it did mine. So you'll receive expert advice all the way, like I did. Call a specialist at Advanced Hair Studios Clinic now. Call Advanced Hair Studio now on 0845 600 8899.
Means for the start of this one. Choir's ready. We've got a guitarist out there. There's a fella on the keyboards. We've got 6 drummers out in the middle of the field. It'll want to be good. I want to be quick because the players will run back on and they haven't performed a beat. I wasn't at the rehearsal. You may have been at the rehearsal, Daryl. Is it good, the performance this one?
The rehearsal of this one is an absolute ripper. Most of the rehearsal today was focused on the national anthems, and they did them pretty much on the hour, every hour. Been here for the last 3 hours.
I can report that the keyboard player has taken his tracksuit top off. That must mean they're going to start. He's loosened up. Well, it's all part of the occasion now. We've got fellas doing backflips and cartwheels.
Yeah.
So it's happening at all parts of the field.
Strategically positioned to entertain the whole crowd.
Oh, there you go. I didn't see this coming. 18-0. Players will be back on the field shortly. But a combination of song and dance and a little bit of gymnastics and some drum playing at half-time. The crowd being encouraged to sing along. Great touch at the start of the night to get the coloured placards held up by the fans. And they did a great job to provide a memorable opening.
It's time to set the record straight. Betdaq charge new customers a maximum of 3% commission versus 5% at Betfair. That means more for you. So ask yourself, which sports betting exchange really gives you value? Betdaq, the sports betting exchange. Value you can bet on.
League Weekly, the super newspaper bringing you super coverage of our super sport. Faster than a speeding Josh Charleyman, more powerful than a Burgess brother, and able to break huge stories in a single article. With reports by your favorite superheroes from all over the rugby league world. Is it a newspaper? Is it a website? It's League Weekly, your #1 rugby league newspaper. Subscribe now or pick up your copy in newsagents this Monday.
Are you involved in your own rugby club? How would you like to increase the awareness of your club to both fans and members and earn your club some extra cash? Did you know you can get an iPhone app for your rugby club that provides an ideal platform to share news, results, player profiles, fixtures and reports as they happen? Better still, your club gets paid every time someone uses it. To find out more, go to sportsclubapp.com.
GetTheLabel.com sponsors the Rugby League World Cup 2013. Up to 75% off branded clothing for all the family.
I found myself coming down to Avignon by train during the week with a couple of Australians. Met them on the platform at Lyon. Taking in the football experience and loving it.
Yeah, it's been good. And there are people from Canada and all parts of the world and America have come down to watch this tournament. New Zealand, I know I've got a couple of tours coming to these shores. One's already here, and then the Willamets one bringing over for the semis, and also the final in Australia will be doing the same. So expect it to all ramp up towards the middle end. London double-header, of course, for the semi-finals, and then Old Trafford for the big one.
The big hit is what the semi-final double-header is billed as. That is going to be a big day. And then the final a week later up in Manchester. But, yeah, you're right about these fans. I was quite amazed to run into a couple of Americans, father and son, going to that game last week, the opening match in Cardiff. They'd flown across from New York just to be at the opening. And the young boy, a Souths fan, he's adopted the Rabbitohs as his team and had the Kangaroos scarf, and he had an Australian cricket shirt on as well. So the rugby league, the code, the game, it's spreading.
And I bumped into a couple of guys as they come back on the field from Canada, up in Workington, who play in the local league there, and tell me how strong they're getting on both the east and west coasts of Canada. But anyway, back to Parc des Sports in Avignon. As the French team re-enter this cauldron.
Well, you just, with the greatest respect to New Zealand, I would just love to see France post a try, just to see what that would lead to in their performance, what sort of momentum they would get from that. This crowd that is going to be easily stirred up. What points would do to them, heaven knows. But the French team are back out there. Let's hope we do see more of Dupont. Young Fage grows in the game. Escaré can put a stamp on it with a little bit of football in open pasture.
They struggled a little bit when Kane Bentley, their hooker, went off the field and was replaced by number 14 and Muniz. So if Bentley can play some long minutes, he really adds some structure to this French side. I know Trent Robinson's got a big rap on him. He's an experienced player and leads the Catalan side around. So big game from him in the second half will add a lot to this French side. Ball control, obviously, on top of that, more paramount.
Simon Mannering a little bloodied and battered after that first half, the captain. As the Mexican wave continues to sweep around Parc des Sports. I don't think we had any injuries of note from that first 40 minutes.
I believe the real word in the shed of the Kiwis at half-time from Stephen Kearney and Ivan Cleary will be play the ball speed. Sometimes you get tied up in a little bit of a scrappy affair and the play the ball speed goes out the window. So hit the ground, get up and play for the others.
So New Zealand to kick off to start the second half. I think that Mika Simon is hoping the ball comes his way. He's down in the dead ball area, French end of the field. I saw him moving some of the cameraman stuff back. I think he wanted to have a run back off the back fence if the ball comes his way. What about those kickoff charges we had in New Zealand's opening game against Samoa? You'll remember them as long as you live. They were fearsome and ferocious. Let's see if we have that to start the second half. Referee Bentham got a bit high-pitched drill there and screaming at Isaac Luke. Doesn't want play restarting just yet.
Don't do that.
There we go. Just waiting for some direction, the referee.
We're ready to go.
Someone has to make the call. It may be the French president who makes it. Where's Carlo? It's a planned away. Kiwis may have been offside from the kickoff, but that's by the by. 18-0 to start the second half. And the first run of the second half is with Jamal Fakir. 8 metres away from his own line, Maria Hargreaves. And Pritchard first up there. This time with Simon. He didn't get the first run, but he gets the second. Just outside the 10. They did well, only conceding one try in the first quarter of the match. The French. The try by Nuasala close to half-time hurt. Johnson is going to be penalised there.
On the neck. Got it below.
With the bone there. He would have let go, Sean Johnson.
And just needed to let go as well. Once it gets a little bit long and they play the ball, you can't continue on with it. Sometimes the players grab a hold of you and feel like you're trapped in there.
And now Sebastian Ragan. 5 inside the New Zealand half. So nice little springboard for them. A little piggyback up into the New Zealand half there with that penalty. Bosk unloads and it is Simon with a run.
Move!
Inside the New Zealand 40. Again, there's determination in every run of this French team. Bosk gives it to Dupont. Again, he's beaten one. They drag him down by the shorts to tackle Krisnan Inu.
Again, the short ball at the line as well from Bosch. Loves that play.
And doesn't he threaten every time he gets it? Vincent Dupont. As France Setterfield, third man in, attacks the legs. A little aggressive there. You could have said Alex Glenn. 25 metres away from the Kiwis line. Bosk runs it up, gets the pass for Ragan. It's still on for the French, just 9 metres away. Inu try-saving tackle. Last play, Escade gets the ball for Vakari. He's held by the Kiwi defence of Tuivasa Sheck and Maria Hargreaves. But Frederick Vakari comes within half a metre of getting there.
Oh, perfect play from Bosch, finding a little short ball to Ragan, one-on-one with Johnson, who only just held on and then doubled round. And then opened it up wide for the winger. And Vakare.
New Zealand under a little bit of pressure early in the second half as France posed the first threat of points. 18-0 Kiwis, defending champions, looking to rack up a score, but it's not coming easy. 2 of their 3 tries have come from kicks. And near the unmistakable thighs of Frank Pornuisala there. Back to the 30-metre line, and again the damaging work through the centre of Luke. I think he's favoured at the moment for man of the match honours. Johnson will kick from outside the 40. More work for my mate Frederick. And it's going to stop in goal. Real spin on that one, real skid and spin. Frederick Vakari with the ball, 5 away from the French line. He's had a lot of work to do tonight on that left wing for France.
French players slow getting back into position here, Vossi. 1, 2, 3, 4, still not behind to play the ball. It's really taken their toll. Only 2 players on the open.
And it's all the backs doing the work. There's a Philippe Bale, and there's a very helpful penalty for France there. And this is part of the discipline that'll be really having Stephen Kearney cursing at the moment. You know, you're looking to tune up in all facets of play, and to concede a penalty like that when there's no reason for it. You've got them struggling inside their 20. Now look where they are.
Big kick from Bosch as well. Nice charge. Fakir and do it again.
Yeah, Fakir does it to get him started off. France inside the 30 of New Zealand. Ball for Jean-Philippe Bale. Now just 20 away. Crowd is vocal to start the second half, and why not? Their team have field position, and Garcia. In fact,
great footwork.
Garcia,
It was Garcia.
only 10 away. To the left side, Fage has got it, and now Escade with his stepping almost through. The young fullback, just 2 minutes from the line. Theo Fage's dummy half. Thinks about having a little crack at them. Passes for Bosk. Bosk, they will straighten it up.
5.
And good defence, tackle number 5. Shut down the play there. Taylor was a good tackle. Boska's kick out to the wing. He's got it. Nice hands quickly. Play on the call. Scooped up there by Pritchard. And Pritchard strides downfield. To ground he goes, 30 away from the New Zealand line.
Disappointing end to a great set of 6. Had everything in it. Runs up the middle from Castro. Roger Tuivasa Sheck showing some footwork. Escade couldn't quite get him. In fact, it was Fage. But did so well there.
And the crowd sit back down and settle into it. Taylor came up with a key tackle on the goal line.
Left side,
and their goal line defence has been tested by the French. Maria Hargreaves has revved up there with that run into Remy Casti. Wants to offload over the top of Muniz. Can't get it away. He's a tough customer, Maria Hargreaves. And again, away goes Luke, punching holes in the defence. Inu has lost it. Fage is onto it. The 19-year-old halfback has the ball, and another error from New Zealand. That time from Krisden Inu. Dupont. 25 metres away from their own line at 18-0. And Vakari for France. 9-8 winners in their first game against Papua New Guinea. Staku comes to centre field. Wingers involved in this set. No call of held. Now he's well and truly held by Pritchard. 15 inside their own half. Bosk is going to launch a kick. Won't look for the sideline. Locker's got hold of it, hoping to come up with some big plays in their second half. The New Zealand Warriors fullback. Nobby Lock, they call him. Tackled short of the 40-metre line.
They needed that kick from Boss. Needed to go long and deep. As Goodwin slips on the surface. They're just hanging in here at the moment, France.
And this time penalty to New Zealand. Lying around in the ruck there. A perfect night weather-wise here in Avignon. this place, which can be notorious for its wind, a bit like Wellington, the New Zealand capital, then the Le Mistral blows up, it can be incredibly off-putting for everyone, not just
got to release on the move.
Athletes trying to do their best, catching high balls and the like. But still conditions after a mild day. A holiday here and across Europe, All Saints Day. As New Zealand with the ball just outside the 30. Johnson again, they've come unstuck. Locke put it down. France onto the loose ball. And New Zealand, where the heck is their mojo? They've lost it.
It's come unstuck. Thought that one would have stuck. Warrior to Warrior. Johnson inside ball to Locke.
2. Release.
To be played by Casti.
Goal.
Luke was the tackler. And centre field they come.
3. Move.
Some big boys off the bench for France. They certainly lack nothing in size at all. And that has been put down. That's a soft one there by Lalouayer. Not a good moment for him.
No, they've got plenty of size. I mean, Elimar and also Casti, they're fairly big lumps of things. Bentley's got good size about him as well. Ragan's had a pretty good go on the right edge.
Let's scrum quicker, lads.
And Lalouayer.
Let's get in the scrum quicker, come on.
And again, Mannering is in all sorts there with the blood from the nose. So he's headed out the back. Now there we go. I think we now have to play on. It's been more than one occasion.
Time's off now. Time's off.
He's blown time off, so he's going to give him a rest.
Okay.
With Mannering tended to.
Heads in now, boys.
This ploy continues with all on the right-hand side. All backs on the right-hand side for the Kiwis from the scrum restart.
You've got to think at some stage they're going to do a little blindside shot, lock break away from the scrum and halfback link up, wheel the scrum around.
Oh, Remy, wait.
Maybe it's a little rope-a-dope play they've got going for later in the match. Waria Hargreaves with the ball. 5 metres inside the half dice, offload Nightingale, then away. Taylor's pass was knocked down. Now it's behind Goodwin, gone over the sideline. I think they'll rule off France. Stand by for correct weight.
No, I think it's
it's going to just say the pass is over the sideline. It's going to be a French scrum fee.
It's a clean miss. Hargreaves attracts 3. Then gets a nice little offload to Nightingale. Catch and pass required from Elijah Taylor. Hits the deck and goes into touch.
Haven't they gone cold this second half for Kiwis? What about the completion rate? In the 9 minutes since half time, it stinks.
Already. Let's get in the scrum. That's it. Heads in.
This is defending champions, second favourites with the betting agencies.
Head down 16.
They're playing France. A team that in more recent times they've lapped by 50 every single time.
1. Move.
And here they've scored 2 tries off kicks. One try close to the line to Nuasala, an 18-0 lead.
Play it to the side. 2.
And this is Elimar.
Wait.
Inside the 40 for France. Muniz and running the ball forward is Casti.
3.
Casti, as we mentioned, off to the Roosters. That will be big. In fact, he's lost it there, Remy Casti. So this play, the game's lost a bit of gas.
It's just stumbling
4 or 5
along,
minutes.
Courtesy of poor completion rates.
We're going to have to get it fixed, mate.
It's a baguette without the filling. Now it's just the baguette.
We'll have to get this fixed because it's stopping blood at every scrum, Yeah, we're going to have to get it fixed up.
Every time each team gets in good field position to put a play on out the back.
It's not going to work, mate. We've done that
mistake.
about 4 times, so.
Good wrestle over the top. Frank Paul Nuasala, Elijah Taylor.
I had frog legs during the week for the first time, Daryl. I just to let you know while I've been away from you.
No snails? No snails?
No, I haven't had escargot yet, but had the frog legs. But
let's go.
It could have been frogs anything. It was just smothered in garlic and crumbs and butter. Maybe it wasn't his leg that I was eating. But I'll give it the tick of approval if it's served like that all over the place. No dramas. So New Zealand win a scrum. Let's see if this game can pick up. It's lost its way a little. And Inu was well tackled there by Dupont. Now Johnson has to jump into dummy half. And Tuivasa-Sheck comes looking for work. Isn't he a lively customer, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck? And Waria Hargreaves, every run he's done tonight has been just like this. 10 and 15 metres. And a real wrestle develops. He was looking for a penalty, doesn't get it. Off goes Luke again. He is the most dangerous player out there. Johnson legs up to score. Isaac Luke is having a cracking game here for New Zealand. Johnson scores the try, 22-0.
Too much possession. The fatiguing French D-line and great running by Isaac Luke. Holding the ball in two hands, attracting two defenders. Escargay can only get a right arm slap on Sean Johnson and a nice little step. Then too much pace to finish it off. But put it down to this man here and Isaac Luke. Sees the space, has a look for options on the outside. A defensive line that's coming up and not closing down. And then pushing himself through. Post-line contact. Good speed.
In the warm-up game that New Zealand played against the Cook Islands, they won that 50-0. 9 tries to zip, and Isaac Luke was man of the match in that one. And I just think he's got his name all over the MOM medallion tonight. He has been so good. Really started to break open the French defence about 15 minutes before half-time. His work up to then had been good, but he's been untouchable, unstoppable since then.
Just toying with the defence. Often only one marker on display for France, which helps them out.
Well, in Australia, for 3 straight seasons now, Isaac Luke has run for more metres at a dummy half than any other player. That's 3 straight years. And the other thing about him, he's had over 30 offloads this year for the Rabbitohs. Yeah, it's not in the Sonny Bill class. He's come up with 63, I think, his 2013 stats. But over 30 offloads. You know, he stands and delivers. He doesn't just set up. He can suck in 2 and 3 defenders and still offload. And he's done it there for Johnson to sprint away and score. And a nice moment for Johnson too to have a test try. Only his 4th test for New Zealand tonight. From the kick-off, it is Waria Hargreaves. So 24-0. New Zealand get the first try of the second half. Their play hasn't been overly impressive. Now Simon Mannering's got a bit of tape across the nose now. And Nuasala with the ball.
3, move.
Better set from them, 8 metres inside their own half. They've come up with another error. And then there's a little bit of push. Crowd lifts.
There's a fair amount of frustration coming on here with individual errors. This time it's Frank Paul Nuasala twisting and turning in the tackle, and then maybe a little hand into there to knock the ball out, so he turns around and delivers it back.
Well, he's been penalised for the throw of the ball.
Yeah.
Which is really silly. Discipline, error and ill-discipline. Stephen Kearney with a lot of work to do with the Cup champions as France have the ball with Ragan.
First, move.
25 away from the line.
Hold 10, go 1.
And Bosk still as a neutral observer. You would hope that the underdog could score a try. Second challenge there of Elimar, but milking the call from referee Bentham. Bosk doesn't find Fage. Escargay onto the ball, and he can jump around just the same as Tuivasa-Sheck.
Move!
20 away from the line. France down 24-0. 14 minutes into the second half. Bentley with a run, and thought he had a little opening there. He's been very good, Kane Bentley. 8 metres from the line, slow to his feet. Escargay to Bosk. Bosk flat ball, handled there by Ragan. Offloaded for Bosk. He's got a chance. Ball came up with Castet. He's tackled 5 from the line. France close in. 15th minute of the second half. Bosk kicks, charged down, but not played at, then knocked down. New Zealand have it.
Knock on, boys.
He's going to say knock on Kiwis, I think.
On the last, not played.
No, he's not. No advantage played, so New Zealand on the changeover.
You just sense the crowd getting really excited here, didn't you? A little bit of ad-lib play, and then Bosk tries to feed it through the line. Isaac Luke just puts his body in the road. Changes here coming for the Kiwis too. Well, Hargreaves had a big impact on this. Madalino's hardly been seen.
All over the place. Stay where you are.
He'll be back on the field shortly. Goodwin in for a run from dummy half.
2, move, back up.
So New Zealand with the ball, but nowhere near as impressive as they were, in particular that opening 20-25 minutes against Samoa. They haven't found that form at all tonight.
They're still all bunched in behind Isaac Luke.
Go, make it, Kane, that's it, 3.
And Madalino gets his first run coming back onto the field. Well tackled there. Boskett was doing a lot of the heavy work.
You're in, Thomas.
The veteran number 6. And here goes Luke again. Have a look at Isaac Luke. Isaac Luke sets it up for Johnson again. Johnson gets a double. But Isaac Luke You'd need kryptonite to stop him right at the moment. What a performance.
Just too hot for them tonight, Isaac Luke. This time he steps and goes out to the right, then shifts it across to the left because he's got plenty of space, and they start queuing up on the inside. Sean Johnson and Kevin Locke both wishing they had the pass. Johnson gets there first. Nice right foot step to beat Escargay again. But wow, when there was nothing doing on the right-hand side, he just popped himself over to the left. Busted between players again. Looking again to the middle in the infield where his halves should be.
Have a look at Isaac Luke here. He is just running the show and sets it up again for Johnson. Got some bad news for the French fans. Daryl and I did a game late in the season, second last round of the NRL, where Johnson's Warriors were playing the Canberra Raiders, and Sean Johnson came up with a second half hat-trick. He scored 3 tries in the space of 6.5 minutes. Bang, bang, bang. And he's on course to do the same here now. If he gets another in the next couple of minutes, the next set. 2 in a row for Sean Johnson. He's also landed 5 from 5 tonight. So he's got 18 points all on his own.
And from memory, the last one was a particularly brilliant individual effort too, with a kick and chase. So watch out for this kid. But credit to the hard-working Hargraves up the middle first, and then Luke off the back of it.
Other thing about Isaac Luke's performance tonight, it was the plan to have Thomas Lillawai playing in this game, but still troubled by a groin injury, and he's no certainty to play next week either. He's had a recurrence of the problem as Cassiano runs back from the kick-off.
Is that the one from the back fence that you like?
That one from Sam. There's Big Frank, there's Big Sam, there's Big JWH, they're all big.
2,
and,
move!
You know, the New Zealand jumpers, they're all extra large.
Including Pritchard?
Yes, sir.
Move!
And there he is with the ball, 5 minutes inside the French line. Bought a French jumper myself tonight.
4, move!
And then I brought the Navy one, and they ran out in white. Penalty goes to New Zealand.
Back to the ball.
€60, Daryl.
You know you're on song.
Luke's taken the tap and wants to run again. He gets away there from Elimar.
Move!
25 metres away from the line. Bentley made the tackle, but more metres for Isaac Luke. Defence is being tested now. They're starting to lose a little bit of touch here. 30-0 New Zealand lead as Luke goes left side, 4 and away. Pritchard, he's been real ball player tonight. But Bosk was there waiting with Jean-Philippe Bale to make the tackle. 8 from the line, Foran, centre field, Taylor. They don't fall for the dummy. Good defence over the top. In fact, it was the 2 Bentley boys making the tackle. Luke to Foran. Foran across for Johnson. Can he get that hat-trick? Johnson with the ball. Another step. 2 and 3 and is tackled 5 metres away from the line. Last tackle, New Zealand. Inu half. Kick will come from Foran. Dabs it across, looking for a leaper. Ball ends up in the hands of Nightingale. Has offloaded to Goodwin, who stretched out, but no, the touchy's flag is up.
Well, they were searching for it. Up they go and contest this time, which is well done. Goodwin just gets a bet on to Nightingale. And Bryson, you can just see him wanting to get there. Get close enough to the line to put it down, but his feet slip into touch. Casti getting some work done to the lower back. Seems to have a little bit of a problem.
And in the meantime, Jean-Philippe Bale comes up. Jason Nightingale will watch that replay and probably ask himself, I wonder what I was pointing at or what I was contesting.
2.
Goodwin's leg was over the sideline by a metre.
Goal 2. Come on, Ben, you've got to get in a marker. 2.
There's Farge just delivering. Let's see if Farge is
3.
confident enough to take a little dash at them.
Yeah, I'd like to see him run the ball a little bit more, take the ball to the line, have a couple of little darts himself. Nice little offload here.
Ooh, that hurt, though. That really hurt. Was it Elimar? It was the captain who passed, and he's just got to check if all his ribs are still there, or at least in one piece. As the ball ends up with Laduaya. And that is tackle 5, 40 metres away from their own line. Do they know it? Escargay has come up. He's under pressure. Farge can't get to the ball. Now he's got back to it. Still the last tackle. And somehow they get a kick out of that. I don't think that's how they practice it at training. But Theo Farr's got the kick in, and Locke is able to run it back a long way. Kevin Locke has got away from 2. Offloads for Foran. Foran is almost away. Bentley makes the tackle. 42 metres away. Now inside the 40. And Tuivasa-Sheck. That is deadly. What about that step?
Back up, Morgan.
How good's that, Darryl?
He needed to as well.
How
Elimar,
good is that step?
he just beat Elimar. Oh, systems go. And needed to. Had a big arm out hanging for him. Matalino.
Move!
15 metres away from the line. Olivia Elimar. Don't worry about it, mate. Plenty have been beaten by Tuivasa-Sheck before you. And Pritchard comes centre field. Sting has gone out of the French defence at the moment. 30-0, 19 to go. Luke is the man. Oh, he walks, he just submits in the tackle. And they give him an armchair ride back. They could have driven him back to the other goal line if they wanted. He proved himself no target at all. Johnson, flat ball there. Good tackle. Good tackle from Dupont on Glenn. 5 from the line. Johnson still in pursuit of that hat-trick. Locke gets it across to Matalino. Matalino dribbles a pass out the back. It's been lost. And again, the Kiwi error count is added to here.
They lost their way. Trying to play some football across the front of goal. Matalino tries to straighten it up and get a pass, which is too low for Isaac Luke. Had to catch it around his ankles, around his bootlaces.
Yeah, it's on 4.
They had success with the crossfield kicking in the first half. Now everyone wants to get on the try-scoring board in the second.
Just for the record, that last test that these two nations played here in France, in Toulouse, in 09, it was 62-12 at full time. And the last time France beat New Zealand in a World Cup, that was 1972 in Marseille. Teams played a 12-all draw in the 1975 World Cup, but no joy since for France. But it's about improving and building, and we've seen a lot of good signs tonight. And this is Bentley. And the Bentley brothers, they've certainly got a couple of competitors, haven't they? In Andrew and Kane, New Zealand-born boys, but moved over to France very early in the piece. And no Johnny-come-latelys when it comes to French Rugby League. Halfway, last tackle, France in possession. And let's see one of these bombs from Bosque. Is that his biggest? It's still pretty mighty. It comes down for Locke. And Locke tries to run it back. Good tackle. Crowd like that on Kevin Locke. It's not easy to contain. And, well, it had to be dominant, didn't it? Escarre is penalised. The crowd give it to referee Bentham.
Did well, Kevin Locke. Obviously not contested. Took his time. Didn't have to jump for that football. Fullback on fullback. Escarre. Oh, maybe just a little push.
Oh, please.
Can't do that from
Not the...
Larouaye.
Larouaye is not penalised for that, was he? He was still getting to his feet to play. It didn't stop him from playing it.
I'm with you.
Need to get smarter.
Larouaye.
Got to think about what you're doing in there.
Fun with these French names tonight, aren't you, Vossi?
Yes.
Pritchard.
Had dinner last night with Taz Batiri, one of the great servants of World Rugby League, and he ran me through the French team over and over again, as now Eastwood with the ball.
2, move!
31 metres away from the line.
Space, Kevin.
And they go chasing a 6th try of the night. No Clint Greenshields tonight in the French side. One of their NRL experienced players. Ball back with Alex Glenn. Brisbane Bronco in this New Zealand Test side. 5 from the line. Now Elijah Taylor playing dummy half. And a lovely ball, Cassiano. The French defence under pressure. But Eastwood has planted it, has he? Greg Eastwood, it is a try. Greg Eastwood scores for New Zealand off a beautiful little ball from Sam Cassiano.
The two Bulldogs in action together. Cassiano playing like a 5'8". The one they call Beastie charges into the French defence. Took a while to get the football down, actually. They tried to get underneath them. Twist. In fact, it's Bentley who goes down. He's looking for a position on the field. Some grass to put it on. Finds it in by the elbow of hooker Bentley. Lovely little tip on. When you've got some structure out the back And players having to defend numbers on the outside, it spreads the players in the middle of the football field. Cassiano uses that to his advantage and sticks his club mate Greg Eastwood over for a fine 4-pointer. No hat-trick for Johnson in 6 minutes.
No. Now, French friends looking after the television pictures tonight here from Avignon. I think it's fair to say the director was looking for a held up in goal there. But Bentham had a close look at it. He didn't feel as if he had to refer it. He called it a try. Eastwood just left it there, thought he got it down and then took his hands off it. He said, there you go, you decide what happened. Time off at the moment as we wait for Sean Johnson to convert. Hasn't had any real hard ones tonight. He's looking for 6 from 6 now. 34-0. Still hope in the hearts of the French crowd that their team can come up with a try in the final 14 minutes here. No one's gone home. 17,500 crowd. Absolute capacity here. Grandstand seating, covered seating on both sides of the ground. An open air at the goal ends. And Johnson makes it 6 from 6, so he's got 20 points tonight, Sean Johnson.
Possibly a little bit of fatigue coming to the French game now, courtesy all the errors they've made throughout the match. If they wanted to compete with New Zealand, they had to play a pretty much mistake-free game and have a good kicking game and provide a little bit of spark through the halves.
Discipline, Rocks, fellas, come on.
But their mistakes are costing them dearly.
So away we go again, and that'll go close to the sideline, and Tuivasa-Sheck does well, the man with the magic feet. And Cassiano now with the ball 15 away from the New Zealand line. 36-0, 13 minutes to go. And this is Tuivasa-Sheck again with that left and right. His left is the more deadly, but his right's not that bad either.
Stand up.
Outside of the 30 he goes. One would think he may be given the game in Perpignan off. I guess that depends on the fitness of Manu Wadave. Will he be right for the third game?
Oh, I'm sure he will be. No way he would have played today. Big chance of playing next week against Papua New Guinea. And a subtle little change here for New Zealand to give Elijah Taylor some time at dummy half. So Isaac Luke has left the football field. Yeah, smart move as well.
Samoa down in Perpignan, and New Zealand to play PNG.
5 off the ball.
Is now 15 metres away from the line. Has Taylor to Johnson. He sends forward on the chase, but Johnson, and I think you may have heard, I think he used a French word there to describe the kick.
It's always too hard. Get disappointed with that. Good halves pride themselves in rolling the ball into touch and getting the weight right, having it roll up before the goal area.
Cyril Stuckle rounding out to do all he can to keep the crowd in good cheer here. Can they come up with one big play?
Move!
I still think it'll come out through Dupont at left centre. He could be given some early ball. Let him have a bit of a run. Not going to happen on this play. 10 inside their own half. Maybe Escarre could come up with a broken field run. As Bentley feeds it along there for Simon, but effective defence. As France revert to a pretty simple playbook here. Bosque across it goes for Larouayer. And driven sideways by Goodwin. It's been no adventure, no enterprise in this set whatsoever from France. And now very flat on the last tackle. Bentley's onto it. Escarre has to do his best with a kick. And it's fielded by Tuivasa-Sheck. Get ready for this run. Back he comes, Roger. Brings it up. There's the step again off the left. And held in the tackle of Theo Fage. 15 away from halfway. Nightingale another run. He's been busy tonight. Jason Nightingale.
Ken.
Very keen contest for the wing positions, but Big Manu and obviously the young fella Roger Tuivasa-Sheck are the number one picks at the moment, but you never know with injury. Goodwin trying to go through the centre. Makes 15 metres. They're 25 away from the French line. It's a very ragged French defensive line now, and the Kiwis know it. They can smell a bit of blood in the water here.
Back up.
12 away from the line. Here come the Kiwis again. 4 and right up to the line. His kick, Escarre. It goes over the dead ball line.
Morgan's got it.
Well, that part of their game on song. Escarre wants the quick tap. Well, he's got to take the centre. sorry, Morgan, you're only about 10 metres off.
Not letting go. Got the crowd up as well. You know, in that set of six, they used all the outside backs the Kiwis did on the left-hand side of the field. When they threw the ball to Frank Pritchard out wide on the fourth tackle, there was no one there. He was the only one there. There was no centre, no winger outside him.
Escarde. You see that white mark we put in the centre of the line, centre of the 20.
Walk away, Sean.
It's there for a reason. France with the ball 3 metres inside their own half as we get to the final 10 minutes here at Parc des Sports in Avignon. And Fage still looking for that run, and he just kept it going along for Dupont there. Bentley, chance maybe for Fage here, but again he passes. Oh, Matalino doesn't come up with a hit there. Ragan was able to spin away from it. Last tackle, France not making a lot of ground in their sets, and Bosk's kick is not really attacking, just gets it down to the corner. Tuivasa-Sheck off lock. Across field he will come. He's jumping, he's leaping, and he's given the treatment in defence. Thomas Bosk said, I'm having none of this, kid.
That's pretty solid. It's knocked Bosch though. And it's come back midfield for him to make another tackle as well. Tough customer. Been impressed with him.
Away from the line, and this time it's Kevin Locke with the ball.
Hands out!
So 18-0 half-time, and another 18 points added since for the 36-0 scoreline. And now Goodwin with it.
On three.
And is offloaded. I think Betham, I thought he'd called held. He's head on three, but he's now allowed play to continue. And Nightingale's met front on there by Bentley. He's still offloaded, still play on. When is it held? Then for Pritchard. Pritchard inside the Kiwi half. Gets it along quickly, nice play. Inu, Tuivasa-Sheck will take on Fage. He's away from Fage. He's offloaded. Intercept. The ball comes up with Sebastian Ragan. Now, Escarre with all of France cheering him on. He's tackled by Locke.
Frank Pritchard was running him down as well.
Vive la France, Darrell. Here come the French. Fly from the line. Mighty stuff as
how on earth was that play on?
I don't know. Muniz, it misses Fage. Ball fielded by Bentley. Nice. What's that about? Where'd that come from? Why did he catch it with his hands? Why would you put your foot up in front of your groin to stop it?
He picks it up in front of the man.
Dear me, that's an unusual play.
Is that Bosk? He copped a knock.
Yeah, well, that has
got claret coming all over him. But I'm sure it was Simon here. Yes. How was that play on?
Play on,
play on.
Play on.
C'est la vie.
That's it.
It gets going. What about big Frank Pritchard with the chase? That'll be Frank done for the afternoon or for the evening.
Yes,
off they go.
He's going to have to change the shirts anyway. And the shorts.
But Kevin Locke did so well. And then when it come back infield, it was absolutely perfect. Only the French could do this.
But is befuddled, I know we keep showing this one with this card right away. Is befuddled a word? Because I'm befuddled by what happened after that. Why a player in a position to catch a pass would put his foot up to trap it. I don't think it was low. I think I've called it right. I don't think it was a low ball. It was a high ball, and he's put the foot up to do a high trap.
That's because your mind is already set on touching the football with your foot.
Yeah. Okay. So New Zealand will have play 40 out from their own line. With 7.5 to go. You got a taste of what it's like if France can come up with something. The crowd, didn't they? Didn't they let rip? Down goes Matalino with the ball for the Kiwis.
Move!
35 from the French line. And now Elijah Taylor. On it goes for Foran. Foran asks a question of the defence. So
he also asked Ross and Goodwin to come and drop back on the inside.
Goal. Kevin, watch the forearm.
Luke's had all his football for the night now, one would think, with Taylor taking over as dummy half.
Goal.
And Johnson, 15 from the line. Inside they come. Cassiano has offloaded. Eastwood is there for the Kiwis.
5.
But the defence able to hold firm. 10 from the line. Taylor, Johnson, nice dab. Johnson's kick, and Escarde takes no chances at all. Line drop out for France with 6 minutes to go here in Avignon.
Nice work. Got the weight right this time. Escarde didn't want to even have a bar of it.
Time off.
More possession for the
Kiwis.
Kiwis.
Keep taking the hand out, France.
Liking the work of Elijah Taylor. Hasn't been a dummy half for quite some time, giving Isaac Luke a spell. He's finding his first markers reasonably well.
Still think Luke's done enough to be man of the match despite being replaced. Now here's Mataluno back and doesn't make himself an easy target. And away for Taylor.
First!
25
move.
away from the line.
Hold.
How good would intercept another one be right now for France somewhere as Eastwood is with the ball. Top three sides.
Give it to Fakir. Let him run.
Well, if Fakir runs off, well, I will go nuts. And here are the Kiwis. Fight for the line. Nu'uausala. Frank Paul Nu'uausala has scored for the Kiwis. It is 40-0. He's got himself a double tonight. One of the Roosters' grand final side, Frank Paul Nu'uausala.
Big Frank got himself one at the end of the first half. Now he gets himself one at the end of the second half. Pretty similar, to be fair, for his first one. Nothing flash about Frank Paul. A little bit of footwork there. The spin and the twist, and amongst some tiring French arm defenders. 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 of them. Doesn't particularly score tries out wide. Loves to score them in around the post.
And Sean Johnson, man of the match.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought the 9 was a 7. But anyway, no, he's played well. He's played well, Sean Johnson. The points tally's impressive, but I don't think the points tally when Isaac Luke set up both the tries that he scored by beating 17 defenders. But Johnson gets the spoil of the man of the match award. So there you go. That's my little editorial there.
The forlorn faces at some of the French players. Casty's in the headband.
You've got to say, you'll remember the tear rolling down the cheek during the national anthem for as long as you live at a rugby league match. When have you seen that before at a game of rugby league? That sort of emotion. As Johnson will convert. Now in other parts of the world, when it gets to 40-0 with 5 to go, the crowd go home. They try and avoid the traffic. No one's left here. No one is left in Avignon. And it's great respect. It's great respect. It's a World Cup match. And they're here to the end.
Maybe the tear down the cheek. Bastille Day. One other day for the French.
Frank Paul Nu'uausala. 2 tries for him. Before this World Cup, he last played Test footy in 2010.
Okay, outside, boys.
So it's been a dry spell for him. But he returns with a bang. And a couple of tries here. And still the ground announcers trying to rev up the crowd and get them to sing and chant.
Move!
New Zealand with the ball, 10 away from their own line. Cassiano has done some damaging offloads. But there's still a lot of fine-tuning to be done for this New Zealand team.
Third, move!
Game 2 of 3 preliminary matches before the quarterfinals, semi and final, they hope. And almost through there, Alex Glenn, another player with a bit of footwork that runs on the fringe. Taylor gets the rolling forward. There's a nice step from Johnson.
Move!
32 away, last tackle again for New Zealand. 3 minutes remain here in Avignon. And this is Foran going high. It's going to be a tough one to take. Our man Cyril Staku is with the ball.
Move!
A metre out from his own line. Goodwin has been solid in defence tonight, where he had some troubles in the opening game against Samoa.
Release!
I think if you look for an improvement through the Kiwi side tonight, it's hard to actually fathom into it. It's been a little bit scrappy as, again, the defence on the left-hand edge comes in and closes that attack down. But there's been a shining light in terms of Greg Eastwood. I think his efforts have been particularly good at the line, handy with the football. It's a nice little bust.
Well, they've got a chance now. It is Bentley getting through the sand there over the 40. What about the tackle of Kevin Locke? Kevin Locke has just produced a beauty on Fage, I should say. On Fage, the tackle. They've offloaded again for Bale. Now, Jean-Philippe has got it away for Staku.
5.
France on tackle 5 with 2 minutes to go. It may be their last scoring chance. Fage, Bosk is going to bomb. It's another one as high as the Eiffel Tower. Down on the cup. Jovasic has lost it. It's a chance for France. They've got to score. No, the ball comes loose. Give them the try anyway. Shane Hayne, the video referee, can make himself a French national hero if he gives them a try here. So close to scoring. The ball travelled forward, I thought, to Vincent Dupont. But if ever a video referee is to turn a blind eye, let it be now.
It was actually Muniz who puts the kick up. They've got plenty of kickers. So up she goes. And Kevin Lopp, it's not the first one he's missed tonight. This one, in fact, is Tuivasa-Sheck, should I say. Tries to get a hold of it from here. It was a try for all. Ragun just pushed onto his back by Inu. And then Dupont thought, I'm in, no problems. That's gone backwards. So play on, no problems.
Ragun, I thought he had to score. He had to score.
He was odds on.
Then we do New Zealand for the push.
Well, now we're hearing something else. We're hearing, I think, the penalty to New Zealand, the push on Tuivasa-Sheck, turning around to go for the ball. Please, Shane, please. Mr. Hayne. Well, the crowd's not going to like this. They're going to be disappointed, no try. Then they're going to find out that it's going to be a penalty to New Zealand. With 90 seconds to go. So no try. And now it's explained, the push in the back. Well, I mean, you've got to ask yourself, if we're only looking at the push at the back, why did we bother looking at the grounding of the footy? You know, you only need one replay if you saw the push and say penalty, but disappointment for the crowd in Avignon. 17,500 and probably a few more. Thought that was the moment. So first, what we're saying is they were going to be denied that try. So if Ragun had gone over and scored,
it wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have been a try, or would it have been? Because I don't think Bentham would have gone upstairs to check for the push. He would have just awarded the try. You know what I mean? So that's one of the vagaries of it, of the system. But we send it to the video referee finds something else. Now we've got a standing ovation from the crowd, urged on by the ground announcer, applauding both teams as New Zealand attack. Taylor's offloaded. Johnson's got the ball. Still a chance for his hat-trick. 9 metres away from the line. Still a standing ovation from the fans. I've never seen anything like it. Lock kicks across field. Up they go. Ball is loose. Nightingale comes down with it. I thought it had to travel forward there somewhere. But this could well be the last play of the game.
Massive bust up the middle from Ben Matalino. Some nice interactions of passes, which sort of finished with Sean Johnson. Kevin Lopp, no option to pass the ball. Onside. The only ruling here will be who touches that and where does it go. Definitely goes forward if you're a New Zealand supporter. If you're French, it goes backwards.
Can we get
then
a
Frank Paul Nuasala.
Go slow it down. Oh, can we go back to the other vision? From the other, yep.
He's just trying to get the replay that he wants.
Go back, yeah, this one. Righto, slow it right down. Slow it down. Slow and slow into there, and yes, it's off New Zealand. So this will be no try. We've got a knock on off New Zealand. Yep. Okay, so you go back with your penalty for your 10 metres. Okay.
I thought Frankie Paul was going to get his hat-trick here tonight. He actually tackled Nightingale in the end goal area.
I think they're going to get a penalty here to New Zealand again for France offside. So they played advantage. So the crowd again is going to be really unhappy. They're going to go from happy to unhappy this time. So New Zealand will get one last chance to score. The clock on the ground has 22 seconds to go. I don't think time's been blown back on. 5 metres away from the line. Let's see what happens here. Foreigner's going to kick for line, so they're setting something up. Maybe one big play that they've rehearsed at training. The Kiwis rewarded. They're going to have a couple of days off in Nice after this one. Johnson's going to kick across field. Looking for Tuivasa-Sheck. Looking for Inu. It's put down by my mate Frederick. It's offloaded. Tuivasa-Sheck will score in the corner. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck folds up his leg like an ironing board and avoids the sideline. And Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is going to make Shane Hayne do a little bit of overtime in video referee's box.
Okay, everyone in screen looks on side. Yes, he's behind him, so we'll go through here. Played up by France. Again, knock on. So we're playing on at 6 ball. He passes it backwards. Tickle me pink. Get a tight shot down that line, please.
Tickle me pink. I'll have that for a while.
We get a tight look down the sideline. This is the one.
This is Ted Bullpin.
He's talking to the referees because they're wearing
Peter
pink.
in. They're always in. Okay, mate, we've got a try. Try.
So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, he scored a try on debut against Samoa. He's got a second test try here tonight. I've got to say, the audio coming through of Shane Hayne, he could get a job in Australia with taxis combined. It's a wonderful addition to our World Cup coverage, but now to bring you the audio of the video referee. So Johnson will have a kick to end the night, but they've hit 46-0 the Kiwis.
They only had one play left, so it was always going to go to the air. Sean Johnson's kicking game has been special tonight. A couple of kicks have gone too far in goal, would be the only criticism of it. And then Vacare, the winger for France, didn't know whether to catch it, near, have a swing at it, maybe play at it with his foot. But anyway, it went straight through the basket. Tristan Inu picks up the football. A nice little pass. Tuivasa-Sheck had a bit of work to do as well. Yeah. Got a particularly good left fend, Tuivasa-Sheck.
Oh, classy play. Classy play. So now, Johnson, this is for 8 from 8 for the night. And a personal tally of 26 points. Or is it 24? 24 if he gets it. And Johnson nails it for 48-0. 8 tries, 8 goals, 24 points to Sean Johnson in total. 48 for New Zealand. And the defending champs, not overly convincing against a gallant French side tonight in Avignon. New Zealand 48, France 0.
Just totally outclassed the French. They come here to play, and with the amount of possession they had, couldn't find a lot of field position. Combine that with a few mistakes on the run as well. A couple of enterprising passages of play in the first half, which saw a couple of high kicks from Boss, really put some pressure on New Zealand. Then New Zealand come out of the sheds in the second half after 18-0 up. Decided to score 5 tries in the second half, the last of them on the full-time siren. Comprehensive, I wouldn't call it that if you're a Kiwi supporter. I'd say they found something, but not really enough to get the confidence to take the World Cup favourites.
And players exchanging jumpers as well. And only now the crowd starting to file out of Parc des Sports here in Avignon, where it was capacity. And if well, they told me capacity was 17,518. Well, I'm here to tell you there was definitely 17,518 here tonight. But judging by all those who put in requests for tickets, I'd say that a few more were squeezed in. They made room for them. If there's a standing room only area, well, there were people standing watching this game tonight. Everyone wanted to be part of this celebration here in the south of France tonight.
And for France, well, where does their campaign get to? A massive match up against Samoa coming for them on Monday week. They unveiled a couple of new players here tonight. Theo Farge, the youngster, will remember this night for a long time. Escargay didn't get a lot of football.
Let's hear from our man of the match. It is the New Zealand halfback, Sean Johnson tonight. 24 points, 2 tries, 8 goals.
Sean, congratulations, man of the match tonight. A fantastic points haul from you. You can't be too disappointed you didn't get that hat-trick, can you?
Oh, nah, not at all. No, just great work from our middlemen, I thought, tonight. You know, they laid the platform, and I was just able to score a couple of tries off the back of it. So, no, I think it was an awesome team effort tonight.
Spoke to Kieran Foran at half-time, and you've played 3 games together now, including that warm-up game. How do you think that partnership is working?
Yeah, it's growing all the time. You know, we're doing lots of work on it during the week. You know, he's the leader out there. I just sort of reiterate his calls on that, and it's going good so far.
Well done tonight.
Thank you very much.
Shaun Johnson graciously accepts man of the match. I do think Isaac Luke was the standout player and the player that broke the hearts of the French side and the French defence. Now the New Zealand coach Stephen Kearney with Natalie Quirk.
Stephen, congratulations. Standout performances there from Shaun Johnson, Isaac Luke, just to name a couple of them, but plenty of notes being taken, I guess, tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty sound performance. I thought the areas that we wanted to improve on tonight was a real focus on our defence, and I thought that was pretty good tonight. I must take my head off to the French side. I thought they threw everything at us. They were very, very determined with their defence, and it took a good performance to get the result.
2 wins out of 2. You can't have too much criticism with that, I suppose.
Oh, again, we've still got things to work on. I thought there were a couple of areas in our attack tonight which I didn't recognise. So we've still got some work to do and some improvement. So, but I thought there's some guys tonight who certainly put their hands up tonight. So that was a real positive for us.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Stephen Kearney, New Zealand coach, and the Kiwis in their huddle, still on the ground while the French players do a lap of honour, just thanking the crowd for turning up tonight and making it the occasion that it was. Richard Agar is the coach of the French team.
Richard, commiserations. You came so close on a number of occasions. Do you think fatigue just crept in the end?
Absolutely. I thought our first half really came back to haunt us. In the second half, I thought at 18-0, they drummed the ball over the try line once, and I thought it was a courageous effort, and we did really well to keep them from getting beyond our line on a number of occasions. But I thought, the amount of errors and some little bits of indiscipline in there about not finishing kicks off right, and our chases and penalties after kick chase, eventually it come back, and energy was a massive issue in the second half. As you saw, they were rolling 70-80 metres against us on the ground in the second half, and that was an indication that we were probably hanging on by our fingernails at that point.
Well, the crowd was certainly revved up right to the end. How do you get the team revved up again for Samoa?
Oh, I don't think pride and commitment's been an issue for our guys. I think that, as I say, that little bit of discipline and smartness will really help us out. I'd love to see us with a bit more energy in our legs and being a little bit smarter. And while probably winning the game will be beyond us tonight, I thought we could have been probably a bit more competitive for longer periods had we been that.
Thanks, Richard.
Thanks a lot.
I think a very honest assessment from Richard Agar. Okay. And a performance tonight in front of a fantastic crowd as the
Jean-Marc, tu peux fermer pour la
show
14.
their appreciation. So full time in this Group B match, a Friday night where we have to thank the locals. They have turned on quite the show tonight. New Zealand defeating France by 48 points to 0. And highlights from this one, and Isaac Luke comes up plenty of times, don't he?
In the second half, he really started with his running game and started to carve the French side up, and everyone really wanted to hang with Isaac once he started running. Shaun Johnson, the recipient of a couple of tries. Again, he cuts out a dummy half, pushes and finds, and then a nice little skip, too much to go. The weight of possession against France in the second half, so more and more opportunities for the New Zealand side. He's pretty great, his defensive side, but lacking in attack.
You're in, Thomas!
For the French side in the second half. Out to the right this time, down to the left. And watch the players leave up, Locke and also Johnson. Big Frank push-ups there hanging around the background, sitting himself into the action.
And Luke, as we made mention in the second half, there was an intention to have Thomas Lulawai playing tonight. In fact, it may have been Thomas Lulawai starting at Luke on the bench tonight. Not with that injury. Not knowing whether Thomas will even be right for the next game. Luke could have 20 more minutes. Cassiano delivering there for Greg Eastwood to score.
That brings Elijah Taylor into the equation. Thomas Lulu, I'm not too sure how much time he would have got at dummy half. Of course, noted half for the Kiwis. This time Greg Eastwood, after a nice little tip on from Cassiano, goes through the line. Foran then drops big Frank Paul Nuasala back in unders on an unders line, and the hit, the spin and twist work of the big rooster. has played a bit of lock forward as well, but fancies himself up front in any position. Plays mid-third.
Try double to Frankport Nuasala. And then this one off what ended up the last play of the game. Tuivasa Sheck does tremendously well to tuck those legs in.
Not too sure what Vakare was actually thinking when he tried to catch the football here. Whether he's just trying to see the end of the game out. And this after the hooter had gone. So Tuivasa Sheck decides he can squeeze himself past and over in the corner. Lovely action. Thoroughly entertaining game. You're right, Vossi, this crowd has really lifted. They've departed the stadium now, but 18,000 are close to here in Avignon Parc des Sports. Wow, what a treat.
Yes, indeed. And when we head off to Perpignan on Monday week for France v Samoa, we're talking about a ground that holds 13,000, and it's a sellout. And it will be quite the atmosphere there, the home ground of the Catalan Dragons. So the Group B table, New Zealand move to 4 points and a very healthy points differential. France holding down second position, and a vital game on Monday night we'll have for you from Hull with Papua New Guinea against Samoa